Hello and welcome to this rather pissy video on a topic that has most people springing a leak, seeing to nature's call and purging the thoughts from their mind. Myths about urine that really make no sense but somehow persist. Let's start with the first and perhaps most obvious myth, and one that somehow continues to exist in certain quarters, such as the toilet. Coca Cola makes your urine glow in the dark. It's the idea that Coca Cola causes urine to glow in the dark and is definitely a myth and has no scientific backing whatsoever. It more than less completely stems from urban legends and or misinformation spread through word of mouth and, to a lesser extent, online platforms, although that's increasingly a significant aspect. Coca-Cola does have various ingredients like carbonated water, sugar and phosphoric acid, and somehow, possibly, the term phosphoric might have led some to mistakenly associate with phosphorescence. Phosphorescence is where things glow after absorbing light, and, well, given that the whole myth is your pee will glow in the dark after drinking Coca-Cola, it would explain some of the confusion. But people assuming phosphoric acid makes your bodily fluids glow, it does not mean it's actually true. If you have seen it, it's more than likely a result of a prank or exaggerated stories, mostly among those people who are younger, dumber, and willing to do stupid things for clicks. And so, what you'll observe most of the time if this happens is somebody will consume Coca-Cola and then they'll urinate under a black light of some description. This will cause their urine to glow due to fluorescence, but this is distinct from glowing due to just being urine and in the dark. Coca-Cola's ingredients, water, sugar, caffeine, phosphoric acid, do not produce any kind of bioluminescence on their own, and they cannot fluoresce urine on their own.
We're working with Linda on this very important project, and we are about to light up this rooftop without using a single watt of electricity.
Impossible, you say?
I didn't say anything.
It's not! Behold the power of bioluminescence.
Oh, guys, it's so pretty.
We took the plant's DNA and spliced in the bioluminescent properties of fireflies. We call them fire flowers.
Nice work, fellas. I'm impressed.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, I think the company might be interested in something like this.
We're back.
We're proud.
What was that?
Fire squirrel.
Urine can fluoresce slightly under UV light, but this is due to compounds within the urine. Urobilin is a particularly good example, but it's completely independent from consuming Coca-Cola and requires a black light, which means you can do this stupid prank without having to drink the Coca-Cola first. Obviously, terrible myth. If you do have glowing urine, you might think that you're unhealthy. You are, but that's because you have psychological issues wherein you confuse a myth and reality. The solution you might try is drinking more water to clear your urine. A feat that can't wash away the glowing urine, unfortunately.
Here, taste this tea.
Why?
Just taste it. How do you like it?
I don't know. Tastes like tea.
It's made from urine.
God.
Don't worry, it's safe. It's safe, but it's also made from urine.
You need to work on your flirting.
Clear urine is typically associated with good hydration, and it leads people to assume that you are in good health if your urine is, relatively clear. And the clear urine can indeed indicate good hydration levels. It also doesn't necessarily mean that you are healthy. For example, overhydration can dilute urine, which will then mask any possible underlying issues you might have, like electrolyte imbalances, because you've consumed too much water. On the other side of this though, slightly yellow urine, or just coloured in general, is relatively normal and doesn't indicate any kind of health issues. The colour of your urine and your health overall will depend on many factors beyond urine colour. Your diet can affect it, medications, underlying conditions, even a recently consumed meal. In fact, as we mentioned, a clear urine can actually be a sign of bigger issues and certainly kidney trouble if you are unhealthy, but not because of psychological issues or a lack of water consumption. You might in fact, for example, have kidney problems. Because of the shortfall in kidney function, your urine looks clear, even if it isn't working as it should. It's a false signal of health. In more direct health news, the claim that urine is sterile. Nope, not yet. historical practices and survival stories aside, there's been a strong promotion that urine is a sterile fluid that can be used to clean wounds, more so if you don't have water available. Urine, let's say, is sterile when it leaves the kidneys because, well, your kidneys remove just about everything, barring the unwanted compounds within it. But it can pick up bacteria, both in the urinary tract after it leaves the bladder, and sometimes in the bladder itself, and certainly upon exposure to air. Using urine to clear wounds will risk infection, more so since it has no antiseptic properties. None. Nada. Zilch. Nothing. So, modern medical advice says use clean water or some sort of proper antiseptic. Even have to use alcohol, which is a waste of alcohol, but a lot better than urine. Strictly speaking though, midstream urine is somewhat sterile, and this is why medical practices use it for urine samples. It is because the initial urine stream clears the urethra of any possible contamination and the area immediately on the outside of the body. The midstream is then relatively free of microbial organisms, giving a pathogen or possibly misdiagnosed pathogen-free sample for things like, say, measuring specific gravity and other urine content, bladder infections and so on. It's still not safe for treating wounds, but there is a reason why that is considered relatively sterile. A relative being the key word there. In related myths, we have the dumb and painful myth that... no, are you doing this now? Alright. In related myths, we have the dumb and painful myth that drinking urine is good for you. It isn't, and presumably tastes terrible. Alright. Some alternative health communities claim drinking urine can cure diseases, boost immunity, or detoxify the body. And they will basically say, look, ancient people did it. And in some other cases, they'll basically rely on testimonials, verified or unverified. The testimonials are nonsense, and well, we have moved on a long way since ancient times. There is no scientific evidence supporting consumption of urine for any kind of health benefit. Arguably, it's going to do exactly the opposite. Urine is mostly made up of water, there's urea in it, and a whole bunch of waste products the body's trying to get rid of. Drinking it introduces bacteria because, as we mentioned, urine not sterile. It puts those toxins back into your body, and then you've basically doubled up on what you don't want to have, potentially causing harm. In fact, we kind of expect the myth of drinking urine to feed into the next myth. It'll make your urine darker, or darker as it adds to the content. Dark urine is a sign of dehydration, leading to the assumption that it is the only cause. And dehydration can certainly darken urine. But other factors, for example diet, can cause your urine to become darker. Beets and vitamins are a particularly notable cause. Some medications and certainly medical conditions can cause it. And medical conditions include things like, say, liver issues or even blood in your urine. And all this causes the urine to darken. Now, persistent dark urine, that's a different matter, and that does warrant medical attention. And certainly consuming more water is not going to help you there. If your urine is dark and you've just, say, intensely exercised, played a hard game of sports ball, or did something else that involves pushing your body hard, you might have caused a small amount of blood to enter your urine, leading to the darker colour. It might also be protein, creatine, and more. All of this is just normal bodily functions, or technically bodily functions not going quite right, but it is well within the realm of normal. The detox industry heavily promotes the idea that excessive water consumption will cleanse the body by flushing toxins through urine, appealing to your wellness instinct, which is bullshit. The kidneys will filter water, and yes, they will increasingly remove more water if you have more than you need in your body. This is part of the facultative ability of the kidneys. But that's not going to change how much of other things get removed necessarily. In fact, arguably, playing too much with the various amounts of different compounds within your bloodstream can cause more difficulty in filtration. So, kidneys naturally filter waste, have an adequate hydration to support the process, but drinking excessive water will not help in any kind of enhanced detoxification. Some toxins simply require specific metabolic pathways, and urination is just the end of that process. Overhydration can then in turn cause strain on the kidneys and cause electrolyte imbalances, causing you to have all sorts of grief. And then we have the historical and folk practices. These are the idiots who think that drinking urine is good for you. Now, there is a claimed test that you can soak grain in urine, and this will predict pregnancy. No. You cannot do this. This does not work. It does not matter how many myths, how many anecdotes you hear. It does not work without modern tools like a basic pregnancy test. Urine will contain human chorionic gonadotropin. That is the thing that's detected in pregnancy tests. Grains do not respond to this at all. No way, no how. There is no mechanism for that to work. Mixing urine with bleach or observing changes in it are just unreliable, unscientific, and nonsensical pseudoscience. A pregnancy test works because it has been designed and can be designed reliably to work the way it does. These crazy ideas do not do the same thing. These are just a few of the myths that persist about urine, and since we have to live with the knowledge of them, now so do you. Some are really shitty, or at least we should say a form of feces, but others again are just plain dumb, and, well, as said, if we have to suffer, so do you. Thank you for watching this video. If you have found it interesting, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing, and please do consider posting any comments, questions, or suggestions you have below.